Well, hello. This is Victoria Rose, creator and producer of the Live Life Show. And today we are broadcasting live from Scarborough, Queensland, Australia. And when I decided to do an outside broadcast and I set up in this location 20 minutes ago, there was no wind. But this is the joy of doing an outside location. I am so happy to bring to you today episode 10 of season 6, and we are going to Arles in France. What adventures I had there, and I want to share those adventures with you because what's happening now in Australia, worldwide, this will pass. And one day, perhaps next year, who knows, we will be able to travel again. And I'm ready because there's so much of the world that I have not seen and I want to see. So at the end of this episode, after you've looked at the live video, I recorded, actually it's not live, I recorded it. There will be none of these outside broadcast sound effects, so it'll be easier listening. And then I will share with you, just like I do in every episode of the Live Life Show, a heart key. Oh my gosh, that wind is getting really strong. I've now got to hold on to my computer. I don't want to lose you. So let's get stuck into the next part, and at the end I will share with you the heart key for this episode. Are you ready? Season 6, episode 10 finds us in Arles, France. How did I get there? Jumped on a train at Civitanovamarche, went all the way up to Milan and spent an hour or two in Milan waiting for the other train. Here I am on the rare occasions when I actually got photos of myself as I'm doing this backpacking solo over 16 months through 10 countries. And then I got on that train in Milan, went down to Genoa and carried on around the coastline. It was an incredible train ride. Cairns, Monte Carlo. It was just stuff that I'd only ever heard about in the movies. And I arrived in Arles on Sunday, the 3rd of March, 2019. And here is my host, Joelle. We're here having lunch in one of my most favourite places, Montpellier. What a delicious lunch that was. I remember it well. Joelle lives in this rather lovely place. Now, it's not all hers that she's renting, only up to the first tree in from the right. It's large, it's spacious, and it's a really, really gorgeous place to spend some time, except for one little thing. Always that one little thing, right? I got this gig through workaway.info, and on the gig, and again, I'm still quite new at this, and I just didn't think to ask in an important question. On the profile, it says that their actual house is only a 15-minute bus ride from Arles. So, wow, that sounds great. The issue is they forgot to give the information that goes before that. And that information is, if you don't have your own transport, you have to walk to the bus stop, which is a 35-minute walk. I know, because I did it. A 35-minute walk along a really, really busy road. Now, sometimes Joelle was in a position to actually take me to Arles or take me to a train station to go somewhere. So that was good. Most of the stuff that I did for Joelle whilst I was there was mainly focused on building her business. Arles is a lovely French town. Here we have the old town centre with the obelisk and the town hall. This is the Place de la République, and it was joyful to go to the little cake shop there and sit in that square and watch all the pigeons and all the people and all the tourists, because I'm not a tourist, I'm a traveller. Of course, no one else sees that distinction at all, and can you blame them? Arles has wonderful, wonderful winding streets, and I don't know if all Australians like this. And I also know it's not that fabulous living at the top above the commercial premises and to be at the top, because I did that when I was in Croatia, and boy, is it noisy, but more on that later. Also in Arles, they have their Saturday markets, and we can tell that this isn't now, can't we? There's no COVID-19 social distancing. Crikey, in March 2019, we had no clue that the concept of social distancing was even going to be a thing. But yes, we're outside quite a few cafes here, and just over here is the market. Now that's stretching all the way along the road and quite back, probably about a block. All manner of things can you find in this market. Beautiful fresh food, lovely cooked food, delicious, decadent, fattening goodies, and you can buy earrings, and I'm wearing a pair of earrings that I actually bought in the markets in Arles. Now, Arles is famous for quite a few things. One of them is Vincent van Gogh. Now, here is the cafe. You can go on the walk, you can go to the art gallery, you can buy beautiful scarves and postcards and all sorts of things. This cafe is interesting. If you were to go on TripAdvisor and have a look at the 600 reviews, 50% of them give this cafe only 1 star. So not a recommendation from me, and I didn't go there because there's just so much to see and do, and I didn't get into Arles all that often. Now, of course, where can you go without there being Roman ruins and colosseums? Now, I know you've seen a colosseum or two, even if you've only watched my live shows, and I thought I'd take a bit of a different angle, and I was quite taken by this gorgeous statue. Now, it's no use me telling you what this statue is because the description was in French. I don't speak French, and I could not find any information on this maiden or maid or whatever I'm not sure who she's protecting there. It was quite an agonized look on her face. So I thought I'd take the photo because this is at the entrance to this place. This is the ancient Roman theatre. So you're walking around Arles, and there's lots and lots of things that will take you back because it's just so quaint, it's so pretty, and it looks not too bad when you climb up the stairs a bit. And here we have an overview over the top of Arles. Now, Arles is very central. So the really great thing about that is you can go to other places quite easily, like Avignon. Avignon. I've known of this name, I think, for all my life, and always felt some sort of romantic feeling around it. And indeed, it is well worth a visit. More palaces, more Roman ruins, more this, more that. things that you would expect when you travel to Europe. Now, one of the things that Avignon has is the Pope's Palace. Built in less than 20 years, started in 1335, the Pope's Palace is the amalgamation of two palaces built by two popes. Benedict XII, who built the old palace to the east and north, and his successor, Clement VI, who built the new palace to the south and the west. It is stunning. Therefore, it is listed as a World Heritage Site by UNESCO, and the Pope's Palace is one of the 10 most visited monuments in France, with 650,000 visitors per year. And I think on the day I visited, 50,000 of them were visiting on the same day. It is a true symbol of the influence of Western Christianity in the 14th century. This 15,000 square metre masterpiece of a monument is the largest medieval fortress and biggest Gothic palace of Europe. I did not go in. Remember, I'm on a budget, and that budget is all about proving it is possible to live and travel overseas on an Australian age pension. But what I did do was sit in front, and I had probably the worst but the most expensive macchiato I had in France. By the way, coffee in France is not good anyway. I don't think I even had a great coffee in France, which was quite a surprise. Well, at least not at the places that I went to. Cold day, here I am holding up my most expensive macchiato with an amazing, amazing view. And of course, just like everywhere, it is true that if you're at a local popular place, a tourist destination, then yep, you will pay more for a humble cup of coffee. Around the corner, I found this place. Now, it's not like it was the only place to discover, but this place was my favourite. The difficulty I had was which cake would I buy? Not just which cake, of course. Which bread would I take back to my accommodation? So I did. I finally decided bread, one cake, and it cost me $7.23. Other really great thing that was happening in Avignon on this day was this rather amazing sale. There's some pretty high-class clothes, designer clothes along here. Every single one of them had their racks of clothes outside, and you could get the best ever bargain. And look at those people. Again, no COVID-19 scenario here. Really, really packed. And I did not buy a single thing. I must share that having a backpack and having to squeeze things into the backpack that mysteriously is getting heavier and heavier is a deterrent. The other thing that I totally loved was this Hotel Cloitre Saint Louis. You can tell I can't speak French, right? So taken by the beauty of this place. It was built in the 16th century for the Jesuits of Avignon, for their novices. Now, you'd think for a 4-star hotel, it'd be really, really expensive, yes? If you were to go and check now, what are we looking at now? I just did this yesterday. I went and checked. It's August 2020, what the price of a deluxe room was. And this is in Australian dollars, 197 Australian dollars per night, and a beautiful room. And it's right in the heart of Avignon, yet quiet. Beautiful. So even though I didn't get to stay here, not in my budget, girlfriend, I think that it is something for you to check out for when you decide to travel to Avignon in France. the very favourite place I went to in France on this trip and that had my heart is Montpellier. Here is my host. She's there in one of those many, many shops in these winding streets that do have motorbikes and cars going up them. Perhaps not now when people have their chairs out, but certainly at some time. So while she's wheeling and dealing there, I discovered a shoe shop. Here we have an comfortable, what I believe to be classy, perhaps not your idea of classy, but I loved these boots. They were leather, made in Italy, $16.43. That's Australian dollars. Mamma mia, I wore them and wore them, and they lasted a long, long time. But eventually, with all the walking that I was doing, I could not bring them back to Australia. But thankfully, I have the proof. Beautiful pair of boots. Montpellier has a lot of gorgeous buildings. I could show you 3 or 4 more photos of similar beautiful buildings. I adored walking around, and there was a difference. I sat across from this building and had a cup of coffee, a macchiato. Look at that. Can't really see it here in the photo, but it is so realistic. It's a beautiful thing to just sit and look at and discover something that you didn't see 5 minutes ago. I don't know who did this, but crikey, they did a great job. And this is what the well-dressed young man about town in Montpellier wears. I love these outfits. So this is March 2019. I sent this photo back to my son. I've always rather loved a waistcoat, a man that can wear a waistcoat. I even wear a waistcoat, or used to at times, certainly not something that I wear now. Loved the fashion. Now, next, I want to share with you my promise when you read what this episode was going to be all about. I want to share with you how you can listen to Joelle's YouTube video. This is season 1, episode 21, and Joelle wanted to title this absolute episode, Is Your Child Special? The link is in the description and it's here as well. So if you aren't watching this where you've got access to the description, just pause the video and take down that link. So why would you want to watch this? What does Joelle mean when she says, is your child special? Joelle shares it really, really well in this video. It's all about how she was not protected from her predatory grandfather and what happened and how that totally screwed with her mind, which is a 58-year-old woman she's finally coming to terms with and working through and helping others, because as we all know, we need to protect the little children. There's a lot of people that want to do harm to the little children. Joelle will share a story of how her grandfather took her to a castle and what happened there. It's worth a watch. It's worth you understanding. Please do not tell your child they're special, because that's exactly how pedophiles treat little children. They tell them they're special. They have to tell them that, because what they're doing to them is something that doesn't happen to other children. So there has to be a reason. You're special. I love you. Anyway, I will not say another word. If you would like to understand a little bit more about this, you may gain some satisfaction, some emotional release from watching Joelle as she shares her story. Now, of course, there's always the saga of the hair. This is my French hairdresser. Hardly spoke any English. Thankfully, Google Translate does a really, really good job when you're translating from English to French. So we got along okay. She didn't do a bad job, nowhere near as good as my Croatian Inopatia hairdresser, Mika. But it's still not a bad job, right? Girls got to be groomed. But my idea of being groomed is have hair that's a bit tousled, a bit wild, a bit sort of raggedy looking, like I've just climbed out of the water and it's dried with all the salt in. No bouffant hairstyles for me. Like always, the day came when I had to say goodbye, France. I learnt a lot of lessons here. I learnt how to be very careful around the isolation issue, and I also learnt that some people, without realizing it, do not treat you as a volunteer. They treat you as a servant. And it's up to you as the volunteer to not let that happen. But when it happens to you for the first time, it's only later that you think, wow, that was an interesting experience. Goodbye, France. Little did I know that I would be back, but this time in Paris. That's another episode. Have you ever gone through the photos of your trip, your holiday, or a special occasion because you want to show them to your friends? As you're going through, it's quite difficult, isn't it? You want to show them all the photos, but you know that that's not a good idea because most attention cannot go that long. You know, that glassy-eyed look happens. And that's exactly the difficulty that I have going through all the photos that I took. Which ones will be amusing, interesting, fascinating, really reveal the journey that I had? I hope that my pre-recorded videos that I will be doing for every single country in season 6 are enough for you to get an idea, to have a bit of a laugh, and just see my view of the world as I've traveled through these countries, because we all notice different things. Isn't that true? So I have a heart key for you today. And the Live Life show, it's all about the heart keys to live a fearless life of remarkable joy. The heart key for this episode is notice the good. It can be pretty hard to I'm looking after a little Westie here, a West Highland Terrier, and she's seen something. She's not happy. So notice the good. It can be really hard to do that when everything around you seems to be growing scarier and scarier as the hours go by, let alone as the days go by. It's so important for your mental health, for your calmness, for your peace, is to notice the good. And you know this is true. When you look back at that which happened to you when you were younger, as you're growing up through life, remember at the time, things seem to be really, really bad. And then you look back and you see that, yes, that wasn't fun. You would not have made the changes you made, which created a much better life for you, unless you'd gone through that. Now, hang on. I don't want to diminish what's happening with the coronavirus. It's going into places that no one could have possibly imagined it would go before. Even so, that means it's even more important for you to notice the good, because there is good in this world of ours, in every single country. Notice the good. That's the heart key from the Live Life show today. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you know anyone you think would benefit from this episode, please share it with them. Please make a comment and go right ahead and have a look at that YouTube video from Joelle, where she shares how she was subjected to the abuse from her predatory grandfather. My name is Victoria Rose. Over 60 still fabulous, and now over 70 still fabulous. I think I'll start up a whole new page. You go out and have yourself a fabulous day and notice the good. Okay. Oh, there we go. Bye.